One of the best ways that we can improve our narrative writing is to mimic or copy or try on the style and technique of authors that we love. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a technique that we see Kelly Barnhill using in chapter 13, and we're going to try that on in our own narrative writing. So at the end of chapter 13, in this scene where Antane is in the room with Luna's mother, and he sees all of these paper birds. Kelly Barnhill takes these paper birds, this thing that is really harmless, and she's able to make them terrifying enough in order to drive Antane to madness. And she does this through the art of pacing. This scene, which starts off on page 97, if you're wanting to reread that scene, it's about the last 2.5 pages of the chapter. In the beginning of this scene, she starts off slowly. Her writing reads fairly slowly, and as the scene unfolds, her pace quickens and quickens and quickens and quickens and quickens until Antane is really in this fit of madness. Let's look at 3 different moments from this scene. So this is from page 97. It's about halfway down. Antane's palms began to sweat. "You should tell your uncle," she said very, very slowly, laying each word next to the one before, like a long, straight line of heavy, round stones, "that he was wrong. She is here, and she is terrible." The scene starts off really slowly, even her sentences, laying each word next to the one before like a long, straight line of heavy, round stones. They read slowly. And yet a little bit later, as the scene starts to unfold and Antane starts to worry that he's going mad, her pace quickens. "It's just the wind," Antane told himself. "I know where she is. I'm imagining things. I know what you people have done. Something is crawling down my neck. My God, it's a hummingbird, and ouch!" A paper raven swooped across the room, slicing its wing across Antane's cheek, cutting it open, letting him bleed. So her pace is starting to quicken a little bit towards the middle of this scene, as Antane starts to worry that he's going mad. And then this is the last paragraph, or 2 paragraphs of the chapter. The birds squawked and keened and screeched. They sharpened their paper wings like knives. They massed in great murmuration, swelling and contracting and swelling again. They reared up for attack. Antane covered his face with his hands, and then they were upon him. So she's able, at the end of this scene, to really make her writing read quickly. And through that, she's able to create this excitement or tension that as a reader, we feel Antane's madness start to really swell at the end of this scene, at the end of this chapter. So here's your job. You're going to write a flash draft today. What I want you to do is I want you to take something harmless, like Kelly Barnhill does, like paper birds. Maybe it's the hum of a refrigerator, an overgrown plant. And I want you to write a flash draft where that harmless thing becomes frightening. The pace of your narrative needs to start off slowly. And then as the scene unfolds, as the tension builds, your pacing should get quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker until the character is in a fit of madness like Antane. So I would love for you to start your narrative actually the way that Kelly Barnhill starts her narrative, because I think that's going to help us start writing in the moment. So we're going to start with this line, the character's name's palms began to sweat. So Antane's palms began to sweat. We're going to start our scene here. So let's look just quickly at the start of my scene, my flash draft. So I was thinking a lot about, we have this crazy aloe plant that's super overgrown, and at nighttime it makes these wild shadows on the walls. So I thought I would use this aloe plant as my harmless thing that drives my character Gabrielle to madness. So Gabrielle's palms began to sweat. Remember, I'm starting with that line. She looked closer at the shadow in the corner. Its long, pointy arms stretched out, as if they were reaching towards her. It's just the shadow of the aloe plant, she told herself. She closed her eyes tightly and willed herself to fall asleep. It didn't work. She opened her eyes slowly and peeked at the shadow over the covers of her bed. She could swear that the shadow had moved a few inches closer to the bed. So my story at this point is not yet building in tension. It's my pacing is not getting quicker. But as I continue to write, my pacing is going to start to get quicker and quicker and quicker until Gabrielle is just going crazy. She's so nervous. She's so frightened by this shadow. Make this harmless object really come to life in your writing and make it terrifying through the art of pacing. Have fun!